Creating a logic app. So now using Portal, I would like to demonstrate how we can create a logic app using the designer. Now as an example, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have a trigger on Facebook. The name is where there is a new post on my timeline. So whenever there is a new post on a timeline, a trigger would be raised in my logic app. That trigger would then be responsible for generating an email message to a specified account. So very simple task. As soon as a new post is there on the timeline, we would like to have a email message sent. This is a part A. So let's go to the portal, new, web plus mobile, and here we have got logic app. Automate the access and use of data across clouds without writing code. That's the beauty of it. Give the name to the logic app. I'll just say Facebook logic app. I'll create or I'll use an existing resource group and click on create. Now once the logic app is created, we will go to the designer, and there in the designer we are going to have provision to do some drag and drop. Let us see first. I go to logic apps here. You have to refresh and wait till it is completed. Yeah, Facebook logic app. And here we have the designer. See, there are a lot of ready-made logic apps which we can simply make use of. If you approve a new file in SharePoint, move it to a different folder. You can create a logic app for that. When a new file is created in Dropbox, copy it to OneDrive. So from Dropbox, we are taking the copy and putting it in the OneDrive. Send an email when a new item is added to the SharePoint list. So you can simply choose any one of these which are ready-made, or you can custom create a new one from scratch. Let us do that. And here we have to first add a trigger. Now trigger, there are so many triggers, so many different types. We are interested in Facebook when there is a new post on my timeline. Choose this. You have to sign in to the Facebook account. Ideally what I would suggest is in another tab you log into your Facebook account. I have already logged in here and automatically it will use that account. With whatever ID you have logged in another tab the same ID is automatically going to be used, and that permission is what is given now to Facebook. So Facebook has given permission to logic app rather. So now every 3 minutes our logic app is going to query if there is a post on the timeline. If there is a post on the timeline, automatically it will run this particular logic app. Now you can keep it as 3 minutes, you can change it to 1 minute, it's your choice. Now after the trigger, the next thing we have to do is add new step, and specifically we are interested in adding an action. We can add a condition, we can add an action. So I'm adding an action here. Now what is an action required? As soon as a new post is generated, I would like to send an email. So just say send email. Search for that. Automatically it will filter. If you want to send an email using your Outlook account, you can use this. I am interested in sending email using my Gmail account. So I'll use send email using SMTP. Now you have to provide some name. Sandeep Soni Gmail. SMTP server for Gmail. The SMTP server is this. Username is I provide my ID as username and I give my password. And port number 587 and enable SSL yes. These are the settings of my Gmail for sending email. Of course, if you have a Gmail ID, just replace that with this ID and the password here. Your Gmail ID and password has to be given. Rest of it can all remain same for you. Click on create. An account setting will be stored in the logic app and then we have to provide the other properties. Now, while sending an email, it needs from address, to address, subject, body, and you can actually click on advanced and you'll have a lot of other options too. CC, is it HTML, BCC in case you want to give an importance, attachment file, and so on. Let us say we are interested in only the basic email. Now, this Facebook post, when it is added, is going to produce certain output. This trigger is going to produce some output. That output I want to use as input in this location. So email should be sent from which address? So I'll click here. Say it should be sent from, I'll hard code it. To which address? This also I'm hard coding it. I have a Hotmail ID, I'm using that. Subject. Now what is subject? My subject, I want it to be based on the input from the previous action. In this case, the previous action is a trigger. So the output of trigger is input here. So I would say message sent by, and I would like to give the name of the person who has posted the message on the timeline. So here we have got 2 by default listed. You can click on see more and you'll get more parameters. Choose user full name. So message sent by whoever has posted the message, that would become the value here. Email body, the posted message is, and you can put here status message. Not coming. Just close and open and status. Yeah, that's it. Just click on it and it should come there. Enter. So message posted is so and so. That's it. So automatically you will see that when a new post is put on the timeline, this logic app is going to query the Facebook account, and in response to that new post, an email is going to be sent. Now I save this. After saving, we go back. Logic app, Facebook logic app, and here you will see that right now there is no runs. That means the trigger has not yet fired because there is no message posted on the Facebook wall, Facebook timeline. So I am going to post a message here. So say I want to post a message. Hello, how are you? Now I am posting a message on my own wall right now, but if any other user is going to post a message, then also the same action would be triggered. So click on post. I have logged in as Sandeep Soni, and with the same login I have posted the message. Come back here. Now refresh this. It should take maximum 1 second or 1 minute, because that is the timeline we have given for the trigger to automatically get started. You have to wait for a minute. Or in case you do not want to wait for a minute and immediately if you want to trigger it, you can click on this run trigger. When there is a new post, trigger. Click. Successfully started a logic app run. Now click on refresh. It should be displayed here. Not only successfully started, it also successfully completed it. You can click on it and you can see the details. This is successful and this is also successful. It took 0 seconds, but this took 2 seconds for sending an email. You can further click on this and see the details. The input. What is more important for the trigger is the output. Header, body. So in the body, you have got ID, created time, from.name, from.id, message. This is actually called as trigger body. So trigger body has all these properties. and this trigger body properties we wanted to access in the next action. Click here and you'll see here input body. The message is hello, how are you? What is this hello, how are you? It is trigger body dot message. Likewise, here you have message sent by Sandeep Soni. Message has been sent to Deccansoft Hotmail ID, and I can see that I've already logged in into my Deccansoft Hotmail ID here. So let us refresh it. No message. How come? Oh, I have logged in with Sandeep Soni ID. Actually, I want to log in with. Let's sign out and log in with my Hotmail ID. Sign in and next sign in, and we should be able to see the email which was sent through some verification. Okay, let me finish this. Here it is. Yeah, of course I had to pause the video because I did not log into this account for a long time, so certain security issues. But you see here Sandeep Soni at deccansoft.com, message sent by Sandeep Soni. The posted message is hello, how are you? So what happened? I went to the Facebook wall, I send a message. This is my second message, and I say post it. Wait for a maximum of 1 minute, and after waiting for a maximum of 1 minute, automatically you'll see that the new post, this message has been sent as email to my Hotmail ID. Back, Sandeep Soni, message sent by Sandeep Soni. This is my second message. So because I'm using from address as this, we got that. Two addresses, the Hotmail ID. So this is how Logic app, without writing even a single line of code, is able to facilitate the logic. Basically a workflow. The data is flowing from one step to the other step. Now further what I would like to do is here only, I would like to extend this Logic app such that I click on edit first. I want to extend it such that I would like to have a record created in the database table. All this. How to do that? Click on new step, add an action, and here you have to say insert row. Search for something like insert row, and you will have here SQL Server insert row. Click on this. Now we have to provide the connector for SQL Server here. So SQL database. Now SQL Server name. Where is this? I already created the database. I need to use that details. So first I click here, I hit control and open this in new tab, so that from there I can get the connection string. Server name, database name, username, password I have already created. So existing details I am supposed to give here. This is the server, and I'll copy the connection string from here. Not the connection string, basically the server name. Click on database. Copy the server name, and this we will use it here. Paste it. Database name, whatever we have here. DSS demo DB, and I already gave the username and password. Username also you can actually see here, DSS admin, and password of course you'll have to remember. Now click on create. Now what is this going to do? Create a connector for SQL Server. Now once the connector for SQL Server is created, it is going to automatically fetch the database tables and display to me here. So did I create the database till now? Did I create a database table till now? No. So let us create a database table. demo db server username password, and I have the table schema here. I'll use this as it is. Facebook updates or Facebook posts, and giving error, of course, because of copy the server name, paste here, connect, expand database, the database, and we need to now create a table. Paste what we copied from the handout, and execute. So we have a table created now with ID, which is the auto increment identity column, status posted, and at what time is it posted. This I would like to save in table. So go back to Logic app now. It got stuck in creating, something wrong in background. Let's refresh it. Click on edit again. Add action. We'll have to repeat. Insert row, SQL server. You see now it's directly asking table name. So the connection was already there. Now the table name we know is Facebook updates. Automatically in the next step it will ask me the values for the columns. Status posted, that is the status message, and what time is it posted. This I would like to get the current system time. To get current system time, we can use a ready-made value @UTC now. These are all built-in functions. @UTC now is a built-in function which will give me the current system time. Now how do we get this list of functions? I'll show you that in a little while. Now click on save. Once saved, now if a new post is created, I'll go back to my Facebook account and I'll say this is my third message. Click on post. After a minute maximum, you'll have a new post created which we can view in the Logic app status. Refresh and we should have it here. It's taking time, so I'll manually run this time. And it is still running. Of course, it should not take much time to complete. All the 3 steps completed successfully. Click on this and you'll see this is my third message and posted at so and so time. Date and time both. So now we can verify in database, do we have the records. Select star from Facebook updates. Select it and execute, and we should have the record. So what happened now? In a Logic app, we have a trigger by name Facebook when there is a new post on my timeline. This trigger is going to execute at a regular interval of 1 minute. That is how I have configured. Now where can I see that 1 minute, or if I want to change, where can I change it? You click on edit. Right now this is the designer. Right? You don't have any facility to edit anything here, but you can have a code view of it. Let us try to dig into the code view of it. You see here we have got JSON objects, $connections, value, Facebook, SMTP, SQL. These are 3 connectors which are used. Facebook connector, email connector, and SQL database connector. After that, here you will see now the definitions. This is insert new, and insert new is going to run after send email is succeeded. Likewise, you have got send email that is going to run after nothing. That means send email is the first action. But the trigger, that is important. Here is the trigger. Is when there is a new post on my timeline. And the trigger having a frequency of 1 minute. You can change it to maybe 10 minutes. Because more the frequency, more is going to be the cost. So lesser the frequency, lesser will be the cost. So based on your requirement, then only you have to set the trigger. Simply don't set the trigger to a very fast frequency. And just remember that the type of the trigger is API action. And the connection which it is using, the connector, Facebook connector is what it is using. This is a URL. So I would like you to read this and understand. Invest some time, like body is taking data from message sent by @trigger body. @trigger body is what? The Facebook body. In that from is there, in that name is there. So instead of dot, here it is question mark which is used as the separator. Likewise, in the posted message is trigger body and then the message. Here also something similar you are going to see. Trigger body, message. UTC now, @UTC now. So if you want, you can change, you can edit this. For example, I would like to change the frequency to, let us say, 3 minutes. And then we can again save it. Or alternatively, if you want to edit these connectors, you will have them in all resources. All resources will have these connectors. See, there is a connector, Facebook, SMTP and SQL. Go to Facebook connector and you can edit the properties. Edit API connection. Click on edit API connection and here you should be able to edit the properties of the connection. Authorize. Oh, there is no frequency in this. Okay, frequency has to be provided there only, not here. Connector is not holding the frequency. Frequency is in the trigger. Connector is used by the trigger or action. And trigger or action is providing the frequency, rather trigger in this particular case. So I repeat once again what all I have done. I created a new logic app. In the new logic app, in the design window, I have added a trigger. There are different types of triggers. In subsequent example, I am going to use the other trigger and demonstrate. And as soon as the trigger is fired, is run or triggered, I can say, the next action is going to execute, and after this is completed, the next action is going to execute, and so on. The output of one action will become input of the other action. Now input of insert row can be taken either from this or from trigger also. That means from here also. Not necessary it should be only from the previous action. It can be of any actions above. And like this we can keep adding more actions and more conditions if required. If needed, you can add a condition. Now this condition I want actually, let us say, before insert row. Click, drag and drop. You can do that. And if the condition is true, you can add the action here. If the condition is false, you can add the action here. So this insert row, let me say I want to move it here. That means if the condition is true, then only insert row will execute. Otherwise it will not. Now if you want to do something else, then you can add that action here. Now what is the condition? Click on choose and here I'll say from full username if contains, let us say, Sandeep. That is the condition I am adding now. If full username contains Sandeep, then only insert the row. If the full username does not contain Sandeep, do not insert the row. Like this you can add conditions wherever required. So only if the person who is posting the message has in his name Sandeep, this condition will become true, hence this action is going to execute. So conditions can be added like this. Likewise, you can also make use of more actions that is do until or for each. All this can also be made use of, and I'll demonstrate in another example. But in this example, we are good enough. Thank you.